A Christmas Story, The Gift of Hope. Chapter 1, The Impossible Wish. Up in the North Pole, Santa is working hard. He is checking his list and checking it twice. Then he heads down to the mail room. He goes through the letters. Bobby wants a PlayStation 5, and Timmy wants a Squishmallows. Suzanne wants a Barbie playhouse, Courtney wants a bike, but one letter stood out. It said, "Dear Santa, my name is Elizabeth, and all I want for this Christmas is to have my family back." You see, it started back in May. My family, my mom, dad, my two brothers, and my older sister were coming back from our school play. About a block from our house, a truck hit our car. The truck driver lost control and slammed into our car, killing my father instantly, putting my mother and brothers in the hospital. My sister lost her right arm and her legs and died at the scene. My brother Kevin was flown to the children's hospital in our town. He had internal injuries where he died on the operating table. My other brother, Adam, lost his life a week later in the hospital. I was the only survivor. I ended up with a fractured arm, 3 cracked ribs, and I was in a coma for a month. I did not know what happened until I woke up. My aunt and uncle were at my bedside and they told me what happened to the family. I couldn't believe it. I said, "No. No. They can't be dead, they're still alive." But not seeing my family hit me a week later, and had realized they were dead. So you see, Santa, the only thing that I want for Christmas is to have my family back. So please, Santa, please bring my family back. Santa Claus carefully folded the letter, his eyes misted with deep sympathy. He knew he couldn't grant Elizabeth's request to reverse what had happened. No amount of Christmas magic could bring back souls who had passed on. But the spirit of Christmas wasn't about the impossible, it was about love, hope, and kindness. He looked at the address. Elizabeth wasn't alone, she was living with her aunt and uncle. This year, he announced to his elves, our mission is not about toys. It's about giving a little girl a new reason to believe in the warmth of family. Chapter 2, The Gift of Belonging. On Christmas Eve, Elizabeth was sitting quietly by the fireplace in her aunt and uncle's cozy house. She held a small, faded picture of her family, tears slipping down her cheeks. Suddenly, a massive box arrived on the doorstep, a special delivery from the North Pole. Elizabeth opened the box. Inside, there was a letter written on elegant, scrolled parchment. Dear Elizabeth, your letter was the most important one I read this year. I cannot bring back the family you lost, but I can see the beautiful heart they raised. Your family is with you in every memory, and in the love of the people around you now. The greatest gift I can give you is the chance to share your love. Open the door. With much love and hope. Santa Claus. Confused, Elizabeth's aunt opened the door. Standing on the porch were several people from the neighborhood, Mrs. Rodriguez, her former Sunday school teacher, holding cookies, Mr. Harris, her school librarian, carrying a beautiful scrapbook kit, and a group of teenagers from her sister's old volunteer group, carrying a tiny, live Christmas tree. The people didn't replace her family, but they filled the house with life, kindness, and light. They spent the evening sharing happy, funny memories of her parents and siblings, writing them down in the new scrapbook, and decorating the tiny tree in their honor. Elizabeth felt the warmth of a new family, a community wrapped in the true spirit of Christmas. Chapter 3, A Quiet Conversation by the Hearth. The next day, Christmas morning, Elizabeth woke up to a quiet, comforting warmth. She rushed into the living room and found Santa Claus sitting by the fireplace, his eyes twinkling. "Hello, Elizabeth," he said softly, patting the rug beside him. "I thought I'd stop by for a moment." "Santa! You came back." Santa nodded, his expression gentle. "I wanted to talk to you about your letter. I know the gift I brought last night wasn't what you asked for, but I hope it helped a little." "It did," Elizabeth whispered. "But I still miss them so much." Santa reached out and gently took the scrapbook. "Missing them means you loved them, and they loved you. That love doesn't die, it just changes where it lives. Right now, it lives here, in your memories." Elizabeth took a deep breath, focusing on the warmth of the fire. "There was one time when we all went camping. Dad was terrible at putting up the tent. He kept mixing up the poles, and he threw his baseball cap at a tree. My sister, Sarah, she just took the instructions and had the whole thing up in 5 minutes." Santa smiled warmly. "A clever girl, then." "And my brother, Adam, he snuck out and ate a whole bag of marshmallows. My other brother, Kevin, he just kept laughing and saying, 'Marshmallow Monster.'" Santa chuckled. "Those moments of simple joy, those are the treasures they left you." "Mom," Elizabeth continued, her voice full of warmth. "Every Christmas, she would make dozens of cookies, and she always saved the last spoonful of batter just for me. She'd pretend to look away, and then I'd sneak a bite." "A secret tradition," Santa noted. "Your family is not lost. They are here, in those memories. Now, look at your aunt and uncle, and your neighbors. Your family's love acted like a magnet, drawing new kindness and support toward you. That is the new family you are building now. It doesn't replace the old, but it honors it." Chapter 4, The Warmth of Christmas Day. Santa left, and soon after, Aunt Carol came in with hot chocolate. "Merry Christmas, sleepyhead. Uncle David is just starting breakfast, Mom's pancake recipe. He told me that my family's love is here, in my memories, and that it brought new kindness to us," Elizabeth said, telling her aunt about Santa's visit. Aunt Carol's eyes filled with tears of shared love. "Oh, Elizabeth. He reminded us that the love is still real. He knew exactly what our hearts needed to hear." She gently stroked Elizabeth's hair. "Your mom and dad would be so proud of how strong you are. And they would be so happy to see you smiling again." Aunt Carol squeezed her tight, a genuine, joyful embrace that melted away months of lingering sorrow. Suddenly, Uncle David poked his head in from the kitchen, flour dusting his beard and a mischievous twinkle in his eye. "Hey, ladies! You want to talk about love? I need a volunteer to taste test my pancakes. I'm trying to make them just like your mom's, lots of vanilla and a secret pinch of nutmeg. Elizabeth, you're the expert." Elizabeth laughed, a clear, happy sound that had been absent for too long. "I'm on it, Uncle David." She rushed into the kitchen. Uncle David pulled a small, rickety stool over to the counter for her. She climbed up, grabbing a tiny fork. He flipped a pancake that was perfectly golden brown. "Is this enough vanilla?" he whispered, leaning close. Elizabeth took a bite, savoring the familiar taste. "It's perfect," she declared, and she meant it. It wasn't just food, it was a connection, a tradition renewed. The house was filled with the smell of breakfast, the sound of laughter, and the light of a hopeful new morning. She knew her family would always be a part of her, and she was surrounded by the love they had taught her to value. Chapter 5, An Invitation to the North Pole. The following year, Elizabeth was thriving. Her heart still held the precious memories of her first family, but her new life with Aunt Carol and Uncle David was bursting with happiness. Then, in November, a thick, snowy white envelope arrived. Dear Elizabeth, Aunt Carol, and Uncle David, you are officially invited to the North Pole for a private tour and an evening of Christmas magic. I have watched the love and kindness you have shared, and it is the kind of magic the North Pole runs on. Yours in Christmas spirit, Santa Claus. One brisk December afternoon, a magnificent sleigh picked them up. Elizabeth snuggled between her aunt and uncle, realizing that the most important thing wasn't the destination, but sharing the adventure with the people she loved. As they approached, Elizabeth gasped at the sight of the North Pole village under the shimmering aurora borealis. The sky was a canvas of emerald green and sapphire blue, dancing over snow-capped gingerbread cottages and towers of glittering ice. The entire compound pulsed with an audible hum of pure, organized joy. Inside the workshop, the atmosphere was a dizzying, delightful cacophony. Thousands of elves in brightly colored outfits were busy, but they were not stressed. They were singing, giggling, and occasionally having tiny, harmless snowball fights over the conveyor belts. The toys moved along, powered not by electricity, but by tiny, glowing orbs of crystallized hope collected from happy letters. Elizabeth felt a surge of energy just breathing the air. In the mailroom, she saw a mountain of letters, sorted not just by location, but by intention. Letters asking for material gifts went into one chute, but letters asking for peace, health, and love, the chute that sparkled brighter than the rest. Mrs. Claus's kitchen smelled divinely of gingerbread and peppermint. Mrs. Claus, a woman with the kindest, warmest eyes, gave them the biggest, most welcoming hug. Welcome, dears. We've been waiting for this infusion of good cheer. Chapter 6, A Heartfelt Thank You. Later that evening, Elizabeth, Aunt Carol, and Uncle David sat in Santa's cozy private study. The fire crackled merrily, casting warm shadows. Santa looked directly at Elizabeth, his face radiating genuine warmth. Last year, your letter was a difficult one, but your strength taught me something important. Elizabeth, Santa, thank you. Thank you for the invitation, but mostly, thank you for what you did last year. I know you couldn't bring my family back, but you brought love back to my life. I saw that your magic isn't just about presents, it's about connection. Aunt Carol and Uncle David, and our neighbors, they are my new family, and they are so wonderful. Because of you, I learned how to be happy again. Santa, Elizabeth, you understood the true lesson. That is the greatest gift of all. The love your mother and father, Sarah, Adam, and Kevin gave you did not vanish. It became a wellspring of kindness in your heart. You were the brave one who allowed that love to flow outward again, making space for new happiness. You have given me a beautiful gift this Christmas, the sight of a healed heart, ready to love again. Aunt Carol, tears welling up, embracing Elizabeth, Santa, Elizabeth has been our inspiration. She taught us how to grieve and how to love again. She is the light of our life. Before they left, Santa and Mrs. Claus gave them personalized gifts. Mrs. Claus gave Elizabeth a delicate silver memory locket. When you miss them most, Mrs. Claus advised, hold this close. It didn't contain pictures, but when Elizabeth held it, she could hear a faint, happy tune, a soft echo of the beautiful piano music her sister, Sarah, used to play. It was a tangible reminder that her sister's joy was always with her. Santa presented Aunt Carol and Uncle David with a hand-carved new family ornament, shaped like a heart, intricately detailed with 3 interlocking snowflakes. This represents your strength, your unity, and the joy of your new beginning, Santa explained. Keep adding snowflakes as your circle of love grows. Chapter 7, The Meaning of the Story. Elizabeth, Aunt Carol, and Uncle David returned home, their hearts overflowing with profound peace and a renewed sense of purpose. They unpacked the memories of their trip, the sound of the elves singing, the warmth of Mrs. Claus's hug, and the gentle guidance of Santa. The following morning, on Christmas Day, as Elizabeth stood on a stool helping Uncle David flip a golden brown pancake, his recipe was getting better every time, she looked out the kitchen window at the crisp, bright morning. She wasn't wishing for a toy, or a game, or anything that came in a package. She had everything she truly needed. She closed her eyes for just a moment, a peaceful smile on her face, and made her silent wish for next Christmas. Dear Santa, all I want for next Christmas is to feel this much love, laughter, and hope, right here, with my new family. And with that, she flipped the pancake perfectly onto the waiting platter, ready to embrace the promise of a bright future built on the strong foundation of the past's enduring love. The magic of Christmas had worked, not by reversing tragedy, but by healing the hearts that remained.